All right, I think we are getting close. Might have our guest now with us. We've had her on a number of times before. She is the new Civil Liberties Alliance Litigation Counsel, and her name is Jenin Younes. And Jenin, are you with us?
Thanks.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. Hey, thanks for being with us here this morning. And I wanted to talk to you about what is happening concerning social media, and I'm going to be bringing on a gentleman who's at a free speech social media platform coming up. But in a lawsuit filed by your organization, the New Civil Liberties Alliance, the Attorney General of Missouri, the Attorney General of Louisiana, our Attorney General Jeff Landry, you're now blowing the lid off this spiraling and sprawling federal censorship regime. So from what I understand, you're now revealing scores of federal officials across at least 11 different federal agencies have secretly communicated with social media platforms to censor and suppress private speech. Please tell us more, Jenin.
Yeah, so they have been, as a lot of people are aware, because there have been some public statements and some documents revealed before, there's been an effort by the Biden administration to use social media companies to silence speech that's critical of government COVID policy and other things, the elections as well. So we knew this was going on, but we didn't know the full extent of it until this discovery dump.
So, yeah, as you say, there are probably a host of issues that the federal government is trying to censor speech on, COVID, the elections, maybe just plain old-fashioned criticism of the Biden administration. And it sort of reminds me of the Soviet Union and Pravda, where you couldn't criticize the government, and the media was all just promoting pro-regime propaganda, and you see that in communist nations, not in ones that have a free press.
That's right. And the real tone of these emails that I've been reading now for the last couple of weeks is there's this sort of condescension, and like, these people know better what's best for us, what's best for America, and so they have a right to silence those who disagree because they think we're just bad, we have bad messages, we're bad people, and we're harming people. And it's really disturbing.
Now, these federal agencies are ones that we probably are pretty familiar with, including the CDC and also the Office of Surgeon General and even a DHS, right? It's a number of these, the FDA, the FBI. And
yeah.
We've seen what the FBI has been up to recently.
Yeah, the DHS involvement was more extensive. I think that was one of the most shocking things. At DHS and then a number of its sub-agencies like the CISA, CISA, there was really an extensive effort to take down any posts related to anybody who questioned the election results, really coordinated efforts between the social media companies and the government. Although it's important to remember that given the inherent power imbalance, the government has threatened these companies with negative legal repercussions if they don't do this, and the companies are then doing it. It's not real cooperation, it's coercion.
Why are the companies following along? I mean, it reminds me of that interview with Joe Rogan where Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg said, oh, they got visited by some FBI members and they went ahead and decided to, censor the Hunter Biden laptop. I mean, is there any legal reason why the FBI is successful and all these other agencies are successful? I mean, we have a First Amendment. The federal government may not police private speech nor pick winners or losers. So
right.
Why are these social media companies going along with this coercion?
Well, because they're afraid. The members of the Biden administration have been making threats for some time, saying that they'll regulate the companies if they don't comply, which, is bad for them, sort of from an economic perspective. And then they've also even threatened like criminal legal liability for Americans who die because they didn't get the vaccine or something like that, which is a little bit out there. But, in light of these threats, the tech companies are going along with it. And some of the emails that were recently revealed actually show that they didn't want to. Jen Easterly, I forget where I think she's in DHS, is talking about how, we have to overcome these social media platforms' hesitation to censor people. That shows that this is government driven and it's a First Amendment violation.
All right. So, what is the latest with this lawsuit? Can this kind of coercion and illegal attacks on the First Amendment be stopped? Can we prevail here to prevent this from continuing?
Courts should find this to be a First Amendment violation. I will say it's sort of new, it's novel territory. You know, we've never had anything like this before because of the nature of social media. Like the New York Times in the past, or a newspaper, couldn't sort of operate to suppress speech on a level that these companies can. So it just is different, and courts need to start to realize that and realize what's going on here, and not elevate form over substance, which a couple of the courts who've thrown out similar lawsuits have done. Otherwise, we're in real trouble.
So where is this lawsuit that you filed along with the states of Missouri and Louisiana? Where has that been filed?
It's in the Western District of Louisiana. It's with Judge Doty. He actually heard the CMS vaccine mandate case that he initially struck down the mandate, and then the Supreme Court reinstated it. But so we're in the discovery phase. We're actually trying to get more discovery, and the documents that we filed the other day were part of that. We're explaining to the court why we need more. The government is contesting it. They have not been forthcoming. They keep on saying, you know, they're invoking various kinds of privileges that aren't actually applicable. They've claimed, they initially claimed only a few agencies were involved, and we found out through third-party discovery on the social media platforms that more agencies were involved. It was Facebook and Twitter and Google who identified those other agencies to us. So
from what I understand, they've been very uncooperative in unveiling Dr. Fauci's communications, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I would say that's the biggest thing we're seeking is Dr. Fauci's communications, and we also want him to have to answer some questions.
Well, I am certainly hopeful because it looks like that particular judge is one who has made some good rulings, and I'm glad to hear that you're in our state of Louisiana and not in D.C. With this particular case. So venue is important, isn't it, Jenin?
It is. I mean, I think there's a reason that the case was filed where it was filed. And, you know, that if anything appealed will go up to the Fifth Circuit, which is also a fairly favorable court.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for the work you're doing. Thank you for updating us. We look forward to visiting with you again soon. Jenin Younes with us. Thank you so much from a group that does great work, and that is the New Civil Liberties Alliance.